Okay. Before we come to our startup Greendeck presenting their solution, I want to give a short introduction to SAP I/O and to explain what SAP I/O is about. As I said, my name is Klaus Drues. I'm doing currently a fellowship for SAP I/O Foundry. SAP I/O is divided into two parts. We have on the one hand a fund which is investing in startups. The idea behind that is to expand our ecosystem. And then we have on the other hand the SAP I/O Foundry, where we organize and run accelerators across the globe. The idea behind that is to build new solutions using emerging technologies like, for example, machine learning and IoT. Current locations where we organize these accelerators are San Francisco, Berlin, New York, and Tel Aviv. Right now we are running an accelerator in Berlin together with 10 startups and our partner Techstars. What do we provide for the startups? That's on the one hand access to our technology, but also introductions to our development department in order to assess in how far an integration between the startup solution and our own portfolio is possible. Then we have, of course, also the aspect of the market. So we are looking for customers willing to go into co-innovation with us. So we are also looking there for opportunities. Here are some pictures, some impressions. We are located in Berlin, as I said. We have rented there some office space. What you see here are part of the crews from the startups. It's actually a nice place also for customers to come along and have a presentation from us, or also to have a deep dive with one of the startups. As usual, you probably might know well the usual disclaimer. So everything we are presenting here is just for informational purpose. So it's not part of any kind of contract with you and SAP. And there's, of course, no commitment by ourselves to provide the functionality within our own portfolio or through the existing contracts. Then we have another aspect. So the solution which is going to be presented, it's the solution of the startup. We do not have any contractual relationship with the startup. So everything which is being presented is more or less in the obligation of the startup company. All right. So that has been the legal aspect. Let's come to the more interesting part of our webinar today. And that is, of course, the solution provided by Greendeck. And I would like to hand over in a minute to Ayush, who will go with you through their company as well as through their solution.
Yes, I'll do that. Perfect. I'll just start. So yeah, hi everyone. Apologies for the bad voice. The German weather has been a little harsh on me. But yeah, I'm Ayush from Greendeck, an API-based dynamic pricing engine. I'm really excited to get this chance to deliver this webinar, and I hope that this session turns out really fruitful for you guys too. So we are Greendeck, and I wholeheartedly welcome you to the world of dynamic pricing. Guys, it exists everywhere, from airlines to hotels to cabs to e-commerce. It is a reality, and the smartest of companies today are leveraging dynamic pricing to increase their revenue and profit. A little background about the team behind Greendeck. This is our second venture together. We started a SaaS company in digital healthcare in India last year, which recently got acquired by an IT giant in India. And here we are with Greendeck. All four of us are engineers, being batchmates at the same university. I'll just quickly give you a brief introduction about all four of us. Ayush Jain here is our awesome CEO, the work hard, party harder kind of a guy who just leads the team front to front and is a great product guy. Aditya Joshi, his experience in the e-commerce sector propelled us to build the product Greendeck, and he handles product in the team. Yashwardhan Srivastav, the little geeky data science and machine learning guy, helping us out with all the algorithms that we need at Greendeck, and I'm Ayush Agarwal, handling the business and customer development things. So I'll quickly go over with you the agenda of today's webinar. So I'll start off with overview of dynamic pricing. What is it? Why does it exist? And the importance of dynamic pricing in e-commerce industry specifically. That's the vertical that Greendeck is currently targeting. Real life results of dynamic pricing. What have the biggest companies in today's time achieved by implementing dynamic pricing in their companies. I'll go over through the solution and features of Greendeck, of what all magic we give to our customers via dynamic pricing. I'll go over the technology stack of current e-commerce companies and how Greendeck just fits in and plays and is like a plug-and-play solution for the e-commerce companies. I'll give a quick product demo, some interesting screenshots. We'll share how the product looks and what you guys can achieve with the product. Is Greendeck right for you? I'll go over the right customer persona that we are targeting and delve a little deeper into the right client base. And in the end, I'll give you a quick case study of how we have already helped an e-commerce company back in India increase its revenue by dynamic pricing. So, what is dynamic pricing, guys? Let me just ask you that. Is it charging lower for high volume transaction, or is it increasing the prices of products during high demand, or is it charging different customers differently based on the geography? I mean, it's a very interesting question. The answer is dynamic pricing is the practice of pricing items at a level determined by a particular customer's perceived ability to pay. Okay, that is very complex. Simply put, it's just changing price based on changes in the environment. It is a holistic solution which leverages every internal and external signal and optimizes the price on a real-time basis to ensure that you're giving the optimal price to your customers. So, why dynamic pricing? Why is dynamic pricing like a very hot buzz right now in the industry, and why is everyone talking about it? Why does everyone want to implement dynamic pricing in their industry? If I have to say, the simplest answer to that is that it increases your profit. It makes money, guys. It can make a lot of money. Just think about it, a scenario of dynamic pricing. Price decrease can boost lagging sales, and price increase when competitive stock is low can bump up your profits. 24/7 coverage. Dynamic pricing works because it allows businesses to remain competitive with 24/7 price monitoring and changes. Our research has shown that this can boost the profits by 25% in average. So there are clear profits, there are clear goods that dynamic pricing brings to the industry today. So the importance of dynamic pricing in e-commerce. In the e-commerce industry, the two biggest drivers today are assortment and pricing. So a customer today goes to an e-commerce website and wants that everything that he wants or he or she wants to buy online is available on one website. So the assortment plays a very big factor. But the biggest factor which ultimately leads to that customer buying from that website is the price of the product. Pricing is the biggest lever which ensures that a customer ultimately buys the product or not. Hence, giving the optimal price to your customer is of utmost importance. A fun fact, Amazon changes its price more than 2.5 million times a day. And we all know that Amazon is pretty big, right? To stay ahead of competition, Amazon continuously monitors and undercuts its competitors' price. So Amazon is clearly implementing dynamic pricing, and we all know how big a company Amazon today is. So one of the biggest reasons behind that is actually dynamic pricing. Why is automation important? In today's world, everything is optimized. It's these small optimizations that make a huge difference. These optimizations are innumerous and incessant, and automation is clearly the way to go. It reduces the cost of finding the optimal price for your product. Forrester research says that a price optimization software improves gross margin by 10%. And to stay competitive, you need to monitor all your competitive products and that cannot be a manual task. No human can scan competitive websites for thousands of products every few seconds, but a software truly can. The different dynamic pricing strategies that exist in today's time, one is the segmented pricing, where you have tiered pricing. You can target different customer segments with different prices based on their willingness to pay. Time-based pricing, you increase the price of your product when the demand is high to maximize profit and lower the prices when demand is low so that you can boost your lagging sales. Penetration pricing, introducing new products can be really hard, and the price point that you introduce the new product at, you need to have a very good analysis on top of it. So penetration pricing is important, and peak pricing, you change price based on the time of the day and how long they have been in the market to adjust for the price changes. There are some interesting real-life results of dynamic pricing. Amazon did $44 billion in sales in 2013, which was a 27% sales increase by implementing 2.5 million price changes daily. Walmart did 50,000 price changes monthly, and their online sales grew by 30%. Sears repriced 25% of their products daily, which led to an increase of 17% in their sales. Best Buy increased their sales by 25% in 2013 and by 20% in 2014 by implementing dynamic pricing. So that was a good overview of dynamic pricing. I hope you guys by now have realized that how important dynamic pricing is and why it is of utmost importance that companies today should leverage a solution like dynamic pricing. So I'll quickly go over through what Greendeck has to offer now. So Greendeck is an API-based dynamic pricing engine. The market we are currently targeting is the e-commerce verticals, and we help them with essentially two things: price discovery and price optimization. In price discovery, our smart algorithms automatically tell them what is the right price that you should be selling your product at. And in price optimization, using machine learning, the Greendeck leverages user behavioral data, other internal signals like inventory data, external signals like what is the competitor pricing your product at, is there a hyperlocal event which is affecting the demand of your product. Taking all of those things into account, our machine learning algorithms then optimizes the prices on a real-time basis. The key features of the platform, user segmentation. Our platform helps you create sophisticated user profiles so that you know what price works for which user profile, and you're optimally giving the right price to the right user. Personalized offers, you recommend the right product to the right user to ensure higher probability of conversion, and you give them the right conversion, promotions, so that you know that if a person is coming to your website and not buying, can a 10% discount for that person ensure that the person ends up buying. You can run all those personalized promotions through a platform. Competition, know how your competitors are pricing. Benchmark your competitors' prices against selected SKUs as often as you need. Do it as frequently as 5 seconds, or you can do it as rarely as daily or even monthly. Key features, two other key features of a platform is the scientific experiments. This is the bit using which you can arrive at the right price for your product. Greendeck as a platform, we do not take one price for your product. We take a range of price that you're comfortable selling the product at. Then at different intervals, we show different prices to different customers, learn which price is performing the best, try to push that price to more number of users, at the same time explore the other prices that you have set. Using this algorithmic approach, a company ultimately gets to the optimal price for a product. Rule-based pricing, everything that I said before, your competition, your user behavioral data, the sophisticated user profiles you're creating, you can create rules around all of those things to ensure that you are automating your prices. So you can run rules like if Amazon reduces the price of its shoe category by 10%, reduce my prices by 10% as well. Or you can run different rules like if a user is coming to my platform, viewing the product 10 times but not buying, run a 10% discount for that user. So you can set up these complex pricing strategies on the platform and execute these strategies on the fly. Using all of these things ultimately leads to your pricing being automated. which is very, very key in today's time, because individually optimizing the price of each individual SKU, it gets difficult. Greendeck, we are one platform to manage the prices of all your products, execute all your pricing strategies from the same platform. The technology is API-based, we have SDKs, we have integrations, and the most basic feature of Greendeck, you can get started with that with less than 10 lines of code. The technology stack. So we know that most of the e-commerce websites today are built on e-commerce solutions like Shopify, Magento, WooCommerce. And for mobile apps, they are mostly built on iOS or Android. Hence, we have built integrations and SDKs to make Greendeck a plug-and-play solution. Is your website built on Magento? Just integrate a Magento plugin. Or is a mobile app on Android? Just integrate an Android SDK to kickstart the pricing revolution. We have custom integrations built for native platforms like Ruby, JavaScript, Angular, etc. as well. How it works, to explain it in very simple terms, we install a tracking script on our clients' applications, which keeps on sending us events and transactions and user information on a real-time basis. Once that information flows into our system then churns, our algorithm runs on these data points, and then we send back the right price for right user to our client, which they ultimately show on the front. So yeah, I'd love to give a product demo. I'll just go through, navigate through various screens of the product and show you the entire flow using Greendeck. Let's assume that you're in the e-commerce product team, and you would want to know, so this is the dashboard, and you would want to know a high-level overview of how your products are performing, what is the total sales been like, what is the top products by sales, what is the top product by revenue. So this is like the bird's eye view of any management team in a company to know how the products are performing. So if you're like in an e-commerce product team, you will upload your products onto our platform. You can see all your products with prices here, easily set your prices, switch between dynamic pricing or static pricing. You can update different properties. As you see over here, you can see for a particular product, you can see the total revenue of the product, the revenue that Greendeck generated for you, and the revenue that you generated without using Greendeck's platform. You can see the price elasticity of different prices. You can schedule how long do you want to run dynamic pricing on a particular product. You can edit the different properties for the product. What is the name of the product, the ID, what is the base price for the product. Here we have two interesting things, the continuous pricing and the discrete pricing. In discrete pricing, we essentially ask you for definite price points that you want to sell your product at. It can be $50, $60, or $70. Or in continuous pricing, you can say, I want to sell my product between $50 and $70, and you can give us a step size that the step size of the prices should be $2. So then we'll play around with the pricing, and we'll show different prices like $52, $54, $58. And it will be between the $50 and $70 range. But this is more like an analog thing, and discrete is more like a digital system that you have. Few important things that we have here is randomness, control group, and the time window. I'll talk about control group. Essentially, if you don't want to run dynamic pricing on your entire set of customer base, you can select that, okay, I want to run dynamic pricing only on, say, 80% of my customer base, and for 20% show static prices. And in time window, this is the time window for which your user will not see a different price, or an individual user will not see different price. Say you set the time window as 1 week. So we will ensure that for 1 week, that user, whenever he comes onto the platform, will not see a different price. That particular user will be shown the same price for that entire time frame that you're setting here. You can see the top performing prices for each product in real time. And this rule engine is like the core of the platform, which allows any product team, any pricing team in an e-commerce company to run complex pricing strategies, automate those strategies, see how the strategies are performing, and then change it on a frequency that they feel is best. So here you can set up rules like, If the location of the user is Berlin, and if the user has added to cart greater than 3 times and ordered product, you can set up some various operators here as well. Give a percentage discount of 5% if the user has ultimately not bought. So you can set up these different rules in the platform, execute these strategies, and see how these strategies are performing. Another important feature of the product is the competitive positioning part. Here you can see that you have a list of products, and on a real-time basis you can know what these products, what are your competitors selling these products at. So you have a list where you see that the competitors are selling it between 4,400 and 4,600, and your price is 6,100. So you are the most expensive in that category. On a real-time basis, you know for each product, are you the cheapest, are you the most expensive, and you can undercut your competitor by setting rules on these competitive prices as well. That, okay, if I'm the most expensive in a particular category, reduce my prices by 10%, or whatever rule that your business logic seems fit, you can execute those rules. So on a real-time basis, it's very important for an e-commerce company to know where they stand on a competitive landscape. So yeah, is Greendeck right for you? Enough about what Greendeck does and what it is, but now I'd love to talk about you guys. So yeah, we help you guys accelerate your journey into a modern e-commerce business. Use dynamic pricing and personalized promotions to increase revenue and efficiency. We see that modern e-commerce today is essentially, it's very personalized. It's frictionless. It's omni-channel. It's just not a website anymore. It's an application as well on your mobile phone. It's an application on your iPad. It's dynamic. I mean, you just don't see the same information every time you go onto your e-commerce website. It's real time. Things are changing on a very real time basis, and it's very, very algorithmic today. I mean, e-commerce companies are setting up different kinds of algorithms to ensure that they give the relevant things to their clients at the relevant price. So yeah, the client base that essentially Greendeck is targeting, the two major client bases, e-commerce companies and e-commerce sellers. In e-commerce companies, there are two kinds of e-commerce companies that we're targeting. One is a digital good e-commerce. By digital good, I mean essentially anyone who's selling goods like ebooks or music or video lectures or anything that's digitally made, and physical goods e-commerce, that's essentially the Amazons and the Zalandos and the Lazaros of the world selling physical goods online. For e-commerce sellers, anyone who's selling across e-commerce stores and have a good pricing power in their hand, we can help them build these rules on our platform. They can know on a real-time basis what other sellers are pricing their product at, and do that. And another thing is cross-border e-commerce. So a company we are working with back in India is essentially helping sellers in a particular country sell their product in different countries. So they help them with all the logistics behind that, and they are the ones who ultimately set the prices of the products on these different countries' e-commerce websites. So they can leverage our platform and use different features of it to stay competitive and automate the pricing on a real-time basis. We are working with a few fashion and cosmetic e-commerce companies as well back in India. We're helping them boost their revenues by up to 20% approximately. If you're running or working in any e-commerce company, any domain, fashion, electronics, furniture, or a seller for e-commerce, we would be glad to talk and see what synergies can be formed between us. And demographics is something which does not limit our product. We are truly global product. So wherever you are from, it'll be great if you can help us with connections, and probably we can see how we can help the e-commerce companies that you know or you work for. I'll go over a case study of a cosmetic e-commerce company back in India of how we have helped them increase their revenues using dynamic pricing. How Greendeck helped a cosmetic e-commerce player in increasing revenue via dynamic pricing. So I'll give an overview of the company. The cosmetic e-commerce company sells more than 30,000 cosmetic products across 700 plus brands, divided broadly into 6 broad categories. What was the problem they were facing? Being an e-commerce company, they had to constantly benchmark prices against their online competitors. The cosmetic retailer had previously been manually comparing prices, but this process was proving to be very labor and time-intensive task, even just for a few products. This is where Greendeck came in. With Greendeck, the company was able to set up the competitor URL for the product and the online price intelligence, essentially the competitive positioning feature of our product, quickly pulled up the prices of all the competitive products and displayed the same to them on the dashboard. This enabled them to understand where they were placed on a price scale with respect to their competitors. They were able to analyze categories where they were seeing, well, are they the most expensive, are they the cheapest. They were able to execute pricing strategies for all their products, for products of a specific category or even for an individual product. By comparing the prices with their competitors, the company was able to execute the different rule-based pricing. These are some hypothetical examples that the company could have done using the competitive part and the rule engine part of the product. Say, keep the prices of products in the haircare category always lower than Amazon, but not below rupees 100. Or keep the prices of all the products within 10% range of Flipkart. Or if the product, say, is not available on any competitor's website, increase the price by 20%. So these were the features, these were the different kind of strategies the company could have run, and using the rule-based pricing and competitive pricing, the company was able to see a 20% bump in their revenue. So thank you so much everyone for your patience. I hope that the session was fruitful for you, and it was a pleasure for me to deliver this webinar to you. If you want to get in touch with me, here are my details. You can shoot an email at sales@greendeck.co, or you can just visit our website and contact us there. Thank you so much, everyone. It was a pleasure for me to deliver this webinar.
Yes, thank you, Ayush, also from my side for this impressive presentation. And also thank you very much to all participants joining this webinar. Just be reminded we have 3 further sessions going on today and 1 on Monday, where further startups will present a solution. All right, finally, just one final note. We will send you the recording as well as the slides beginning of next week. So there you will also find my contact details, but also the ones of Ayush. Really, please be reminded, feel free to get in contact with one of each, or in one of us, of course. And yes, happy to welcome to another webinar. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.